when I was asking the divine, what are we sharing today as we transition from the beautiful year of perfect vision to the year of change for the collective. I also wanted to talk about everyone discovering their personal year, what you're going into and what you're coming out of. So to discover your personal year, you take your birth month, like the number that your birth month is. So January is 1, December 12. Your birth date. So birth month plus birth date plus 4 if you are discovering your 2020 personal number. If you're discovering your 2021 personal number, you're going to take birth date, birth month, and the number 5. So go discover your personal year tonight or whenever you're watching the replay. It's good to know what you're personally going into as well as the collective. And we talked about this year. The collective is in a 4-year. Next year, the collective is going to be in a 5-year. That's the year of change. So I'm coming out of a 5-year personally and going into a 6-year, which is like healing and harmony and coming back home to self. And the collective's going into a 5-year. So I'm kind of doing a double 5-year as well. So it's good to know where you're at and all of that. So maybe tomorrow I'll go through what the numbers mean. Do you want me to go through what the personal years mean once you discover it? Does anyone know? Did anyone calculate as I was talking about this? So for example, just to help you, so I'm January 27th. So I would take 1 plus 27 plus 4 for this year. That gives me a 32. Now I'm going to add the 3 and the 2 together to get a single digit, which is 5. So for next year, I cannot stand this one feather just sticking out. Don't even look at it. Just ignore it's there. So next year, it would be the same thing. You just technically go up a year, but it would be 1 plus 27 plus 5, which would then add to 6. It would be 33, and it would add to 6. Okay, so let's talk about the transmission now. I'm a 6-year. Yes, Shauna, yeah, you reduce the 33, which equals 6. So you're a 6-year this year, and you're going into a 7-year. Good. Those are the foundations. So let's talk about the transmission that was coming through from the divine today for us as we move into a 5-year collectively, and then whatever number you're moving into yourself, is the privilege of being a sovereign being. We are so transitioning out of a collective manipulation manifesto. It's like amazing. We're reclaiming our sovereignty. We're realizing that no one has control over our being but ourselves. We're noticing that we can create our realities. We're noticing how we can heal ourselves through just remembering that we are the divine, and the divine moves through us and exists around us, and we're holographic awareness in this beautiful matrixy energy, and not the shit matrix that we can tap into, but the expansive reality of quantum fabric weaving together that we can tap into. That is privilege, because guess what? Most of the collective is bought into the slave farm mentality. People get triggered when I call it a slave farm. That's why I'm calling it that. We live in a slave farm. Does that mean we are slaves to reality? No, because we discovered our sovereignty. But a lot of people are still in that transition state. And it's the brainwashing of constant information that is controlled by resources that creates that slave farm reality. The media controls what we talk about and how long we talk about it. Like how long we talk about that for. And we're seeing people transition out of that. I just had a client this afternoon. She just went cold turkey off the news, which has been amazing. Yes, Bean. Bellatrix is very chatty today. So that's one of the things, is like the media controls what we see, how long we see it for, what we talk about, the words that we use it to talk about, and then how long we talk about it for. That is the core of the slave farm. I'm assuming not a lot of us watch the news. I haven't watched the news in like 8 years, if not longer. And therefore my thoughts are my own thoughts. And what the divine was bringing through today is sit with yourself, discover your own thoughts, and become the sovereign being and see the privilege within that. People who can see the sovereignty in themselves and become that and embody that, those are the leaders, those are the wave makers, those are the creators of the new earth and the new realities that we're weaving through the quantum fabrics. The privilege of being sovereign is to be the leader in this case as we anoint, ignite, and guide people into the remembrance of their leadership and their sovereignty and what that looks like for them. Grounding in all the transmissions from all over the earth. So this transmission is really short and sweet. Become your sovereign being. By doing that, you automatically opt out of the slave farm. You're out. You don't exist within it. But you can look into it. Like we can look into the matrix, we can look into the slave farm, and we can see the people suffering. Ugh. I was driving to my parents for dinner yesterday, and every car we passed, there was like, they looked like, I don't even know, they literally looked like that, whatever this is, they looked like that. They had their cheeks sunken in, super big circles under their eyes, and they're with their family in their cars, and they're all just like, and of course Tyler and I are like singing and dancing and laughing, and we're like, oh my God, could you imagine being part of that slave farm and just like living your life like that? That's because those people don't have their sovereignty ignited. For 2021, we need our sovereignty ignited. We need to remember we are our own sovereign being. Nothing is outside of us. Nothing controls us. Nothing takes our magic, our abilities, and our free thoughts away. They're just on autopilot, and that's just it. Society is set up for you to just get to the next spot. And it was really mind-blowing. I never thought of it this way, but someone put a picture of prescription drugs and said, if this was supposed to heal us, why do we need a refill? And it's not to like say prescription drugs are good or bad, but it's something to think about. Is like, that's how society, we're set up on autopilot. Get to the next refill, get to the next paycheck, get to the next pandemic, get to the next recession, get to the next election, get to the next day, get to the next week. It's just next and next and next. Who the fuck is gonna break the cycle? The people watching this are gonna break the cycle. That's who. We're gonna break the cycle. We're seeing these autopilot zombies on replay day after day after day, getting to the next step, not knowing there's anything outside of it but the slave farm that they've put themselves in. And then we just come in and blow their slave farm apart, and we're like, look at the world. Look at the world from sovereign eyes. The world that we know is a fraction of the world that exists. Yes, we hear you. Bellatrix wants to be heard today. You want to say anything? Say hi? No, she's so quiet. But that's what it is. We break the cycles. The cycle breakers are discovering that there is more to the earth. Come on up. There's more to the earth than we perceive. Are you coming up? Thank you. You want to say hi to the people? Say hi. Okay. And that's what I wanted to say today. That's kind of all, short and sweet. And to opt out of the slave farm, discover your sovereignty, don't take no for an answer, and stop getting to the next best thing. And I was actually talking to my cousin yesterday about this, was the people will dangle like shiny objects in front of us, and we're like, ah, that's what I need. Like, we need the new Gucci bag, we need the new car, we need the new iPhone, we need the new house, we need this, we need that. And there's always something new that we're striving towards. That's how they keep us with blinders on. They want us like this. If we can live life like this, that's the best thing for them, for the slave masters. But what we're doing to people is we're live streaming and we're posting and we're sharing offerings and sessions and we're ripping off the blinders, and people are like, oh, it's so bright. And then they just recalibrate for a minute. And when I say a minute, it might be a month or a year or however long, a week, I don't know, however long they need to recalibrate. And then when they do that, they're like, oh, it's not bright, it's vibrant, and it's my heaven on earth. And that's what we're here to embody. So for 2021, look at what the slave masters are. Look at the people inside of the slave farm and see where in yourself, what prophecy within you, what purpose in your DNA, what tools do you have inside of you that is going to assist these people in getting out of the slave farm. This is a movement. 2020 is a movement, 2021's a movement, 2022 is a movement, 2023 is a movement. The next 10 years is a movement into heaven on earth. And in 2030, when ascended masters start coming back to the planet, including elementals such as dragons and so forth, the people who may still be stuck in the slave farm, if they choose, are going to have a huge, huge awakening experience. But it's up to us that they get introduced to these concepts and these realities of heaven on earth. So when 2030 comes with the big transition into more ascended masters coming forward, like Isis and Jesus and the dragons and the fairies and all of that fun magical stuff that I can talk about all day, they're not going through psychosis breakdowns. They're like calibrated enough to experience it. And that's the best part of it. That's what 2021 is going to be about. Let's pull a card for tomorrow so we're prepared for success tomorrow. We're anchoring it in. This is a daily practice that is really good. I do it every night. It doesn't have to be with cards. It can just be, what do I need for tomorrow? What can I do to set myself up for success? And sometimes it's just go to bed. Sometimes it is drink more water. Sometimes it's go live. Sometimes it's channel. Sometimes it's book a healing. Sometimes it's put an offer out. Okay, our card for tomorrow came on out. Another thing that's really fun is, I think it's going to air December 4th around that day. But I am doing a guest appearance on another online show, and it's going to air December 4th. So I don't know if I should be sharing it, but I'll wait till I can share it. But December 4th, keep that in mind. So as we talk about 4, first of all, this card is 44. Card number 4 is shine your light. Shine your light. So tomorrow, as we prepare for success, anchoring in all that we are, tomorrow is October 13th. Yum. Shine your light as brightly as you can. This is so powerful as we be that guiding light for the people to get out of the slave farm and become sovereign beings. We need to show them. We need to be a beacon. It doesn't mean we can't be a beacon with boundaries, but we need to be a beacon of light. We need to show up in a way that is good and true to us. So, doing 85 days of live streaming may not be good and true to you. Please don't do that if it's not. But shine your light in a way that is good and true, and be a beacon. Don't be afraid to show people how powerful you are. And another thing that's just coming from the divine, as you're shining your light, don't be afraid to get everything you've always wanted. Everything you've always wanted is coming to you now, so don't be afraid to receive it. Lean into it. If there is a little bit of fear, so what? We have ego structures that will have their own emotions, but we can show up anyway. Just because we have a little bit of fear, okay, little transmission coming through from this card. Just because we have a little fear does not mean you're fucking up your manifestations. Your manifestations don't just die instantly as soon as we have a little tinge of fear. The fear is coming up because the manifestations are coming so powerfully through you. It's pushing out all of the unhealed vibrations. So when there is fear coming up in manifestation, good. It means the thing that you're creating is coming through. Now, don't bypass the fear. Remember that, I don't remember what day it was, but I think it was day 3. Run towards the fear. Run towards it. Look it in the eye. Acknowledge it, and then send it off on its way. Don't be afraid to receive all that you are and all that you are here to receive. And let's get rid of the stigma of we need to do a laundry list of things to create. She can't, my cat, Bellatrix, she'll meow all live long day when I talk, but as soon as I stop talking, she doesn't meow. There we go. As soon as I start talking, she'll meow. She I don't know if she's translating for everyone's familiar out there, your cat or your dog or your fish or your rabbit. Bellatrix is our in-house animal translator. And she wants you and your pets and your familiars to know tomorrow you're going to shine your light. You're going to show up in a way that probably scares you, but you're going to do it anyway. And you're going to love it. So a little fun announcement is that a little giveaway, huge sale that we're doing is 30-minute distant healing sessions via sliding scale donation. And that's with my mom and I. She's a really powerful angelic Reiki practitioner. We do a 30-minute distant healing together. So you basically get an hour session within 30 minutes. It's distantly, so we don't need to go on the phone with you. But what we will do is send you a recording. I'm going to send you a voice recording of everything that I did during the session, as well as an email report of everything my mom did in a session. So you get a little package in your email box 24 hours after your session with us. Those are booking up pretty fast, so if you want it this month, definitely book in as soon as possible. And then also, before we go look, and I'll give you your personal numbers for your birthdays, I'm looking for calling in. There's actually 4 more spots, so a spot just opened. I'm taking a lot less one-on-one single clients, and I've opened more spaces for private clients. So there's 4 more spots for 6 months with me. There's a 3-month option, a 6-month option, and a 12-month option. There's 4 spots for those all together, so collectively. So if you want to work one-on-one with me, unlimited, for 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months, message me. Just message me incubator. It used to just be a 6-month thing, but I've actually added the 3-month and the 12-month option. Those spots usually fill up pretty fast when I publicly announce it. So message me right away and we can set that up. And yeah, I love you all so much. Bye. Mwah.